What's up, PTB Nation? Welcome back after a long layoff. Welcome back to the Park and the Bus podcast. I'm your host, the Mr. Mike Agustinu, and this is episode 78. We're going to do a weekend recap right now. I'm going to recap as much as I possibly can in the next hour of what went down this past weekend and earlier today here in world football. We're going to stick to Europe in this episode, okay? I know it's been a long time. I got a lot to talk about, and I got a lot to catch you guys up on. But in this episode, we're going to stick to pretty much the European calendar with a little bit of MLS, Liga MX mixed in as well, because a lot of stuff going on there as well. And, you know, the big one this weekend was the FA Cup. I'm going to spend some extra time on that one. And before I do that, I just want to welcome everybody back. Like I said, it's been a long layoff. Here is yet another attempt to restart this season 3, but this one's for real now. I have cleared a lot of things out in my life, in my professional life, and I've now made, I believe, the time to get this show back up off the ground and on its feet again, running again. This is going to be a huge year for the Park and the Bus podcast. 2022 will not disappoint. We've got the Women's Euro coming up this summer. I will be watching that. I will be covering that. You can believe that if you tune to this channel, that you will get your coverage here on the UEFA Women's Euro 2022 going on starting in July in England, okay? 16 teams. I'll do a little preview probably when we get close, but when we get into it, it's going to be I want to treat it exactly like the men's tournament, bring you daily episodes, daily updates. Again, anybody that wants to join the team, that wants to help me out with this, that wants to appear here and watch these matches, give their thoughts, just holler at me. Just drop me a line. You can do it you can send me a DM on Twitter at PTB_media, or you can send it to my personal account, which is also, you know, somewhat of a professional account right there. The handle you see right there on the screen at Mike Agustino. That's at MikeAgostinho. Just hit me a DM if you want to contribute to the show. If you have a league that you want to cover, okay, and you want to talk about and you don't think gets enough coverage, be my guest. Let me know. The floor is yours, all right? Just let me know. I want to get a lot going on in this show, okay, and I want to continue to work on building this into the PTB Media Network and not just the Park and the Bus podcast and the Mr. Benfica podcast, which is what it currently sits at. I need more people to do that, and listen, open invitation to anybody that wants to do it. I'm gonna need people to help me out with the Women's Euro coming up in July and in November, of course. World Cup 2022. You know I can't miss it, but I'm going to need people. I'm going to need help because I'm not going to be able to do it every single day. It comes in one of the busiest times of the year for me work-wise, so I'm going to need some troops to come in with me and to help me get through that, but it's going to be worth it. I tell you, it is a lot of fun covering these tournaments from start to finish. So please, anybody interested, just drop me a line. Also, you can email me. It's ptbmedianetwork@gmail.com. All right. Welcome to anybody watching or listening for the first time. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button right down there. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell next to it so that you know whenever I'm on. That way you don't miss any of the coverage going forward. Some of you have noticed and have commented, if you can't get enough of me, okay, I do now contribute to another website. I will contribute to betterthan.vegas. It's a betting website. If you go there, www.betterthan.vegas, and if you search Mr. Benfica, that's me. I am Mr. Benfica. If you don't know, that's also who I am on that website, and I give my betting tips and my betting picks there 2 to 3 times a week minimum. I will either have a written blog post or a short video explaining my picks and telling you where you're going to make the money. If you've been listening to me, okay, if you've been listening to me for the last month or so that I've been on there, you're ahead right now. You're winning more than you're losing. So don't miss out. If you like to bet, please go over to betterthan.vegas and subscribe to my channel, Mr. Benfica. I will post some links in the show notes so you can find that. Okay, getting that out of the way. Another exciting thing coming is I'm going to be hitting the road this summer. I have finalized it now. I have travel planned. I'm hitting the road. I'm going to be doing shows on location. I'm totally psyched about this, all right? I am going to be going to at least 4 MLS games None of them in my market. Okay, none of them here in New England. Um, I may go to a Revolution game as well and do a show from the parking lot there as well at some point. But really, I'm excited about taking it to the road. All right, I'm going to New York City for an NYCFC matchup. I am going to Philly. I'm going to DC, and I'm going to Cincinnati this summer. I cannot wait to experience the different environments in those different stadiums, and I'll be taking this tablet with me. I'll be taking my laptop. I will be creating content while I'm on the road as well. So if you're in any of those markets and you want to have a pint, just hit me up, man. I'll tell you where I'm gonna go get one. Or you tell me if you're the local, and I'll have a great time meeting anybody. Also, I'm gonna try to bring some swag with me to hand out. Look for me. All right. I'll probably have this flag you see behind me, this PTB Media Network flag. I'm probably gonna take that with me, and hopefully, if you see me, give me say what up, and maybe I can get you a T-shirt or a hat or something. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna have available, but I will be there handing out business cards as well, trying to grow this audience and trying to get this show finally into the stratosphere that I'd always envisioned for it. So I'm really excited about going on the road this summer. So do stay tuned, all right? And I will have content coming from these matches. I'll be doing some video content too that will be exclusive on the YouTube page, okay? So again, subscribe to the PTB Media Network on YouTube. It's down there. Just hit it below. Hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitter, thank you, of course. Make sure you subscribe to @PTB_media. That's my Twitter handle. All right, let's get into the action. We're going to England. Okay, we're going to start in England, and we're going to start with the FA Cup. Like I said, it's Liverpool playing Chelsea at Wembley, and both of these teams coming in. Both of these teams with experience in cup finals. Obviously, Chelsea a year ago won the Champions League. Okay, earlier this season, these two teams met in the final of the League Cup or the Carabao Cup, whatever you want to call it. That was the epic penalty shootout that went 11 shots, 11 rounds, and it didn't end until Kepa missed his penalty kick, leading Liverpool to the loss and giving the first of a possible 4 trophies still alive for Liverpool. Liverpool still alive, hanging on by a thread, but still alive for the quadruple. Let's take a look at the lineups here. Okay, the two German managers, it was a guarantee one of them was going to win, obviously, so we were going to get the first ever German manager to win the FA Cup in this one. All right, so you got Thomas Tuchel taking on Jurgen Klopp. I like both of these managers. I'm gonna have some questions about Tuchel though at the end of this one. I have to say there's a little bit of questioning here. But let's look at the 11, starting with Chelsea. Edouard Mendy, of course, in goal. Fantastic goalkeeper, the Senegalese international. And the 3 across the back, Trevor Chabala, Thiago Silva, and Tony Rudiger are the 3 in the back, with the wingbacks being Marcos Alonso and Reece James. Marcos down the left, Reece down the right, with a double pivot inside of them, Mateo Kovacic and the captain, Jorginho. My son's favorite player. May I say, my 6-year-old son's favorite player is Jorginho. I'm going to tell you how he experienced this match, too, in a moment. In attack, okay, the 2 attacking midfielders, outside forwards, if you will, Mason Mount and Christian Pulisic. So Christian Pulisic, the American, gets the start. There was a lot of talk on the interwebs, a lot of talk on the Twitter, on the Facebook, on all of the different soccer boards, whether or not Christian Pulisic was going to start. A lot of people very negative about Christian Pulisic's playing time. A lot of people very negative about his situation right now at Chelsea. I don't see it that way. I think Christian Pulisic is in a very good situation because he's at a team where he has to fight for his playing time, and he's not being singled out. Thomas Tuchel has shown the player that is in form and the player that delivers is the one that's going to play. He's been in form. He's delivered. Tuchel gives him the start in this matchup, and I think Christian did more than enough to verify that he deserved the start in the starting 11. And they're playing behind the striker Romelu Lukaku, which means Timo Werner dropped to the bench. Romelu Lukaku's seen a lot of the action lately in this Chelsea side. Very interesting turn of events. You know, he had to come out publicly last week on the social media, Lukaku, and he had to dismiss anything that was being said about him being unhappy at the club. He says nobody speaks for him but himself, and he has focused on keeping his mouth shut, and he has focused on helping his team. I think that's a smart move by Romelu Lukaku. I also think it'd be a smart move to fire his agent at this point because there are some PR nightmares going on in the Romelu Lukaku camp, and good on him to come out and to quickly dismiss that. All right, so for Liverpool, for me, the best team in the world this season, Liverpool. I've said it. If you caught me on the Pitches and Pints show over on Better Than Vegas, they have a show every week. I filled in one night on Pitches and Pints, and I told the host, I told Leo, who's been on this show plenty of times, if you haven't noticed, a lot of the BTV crew make appearances on this show when I do get people in here. Thus, why I'm helping them out as well. I'm working with them, and I think we got a good relationship going. The two different, platforms. But I was on Pitches and Pints, and I told Leo, who is a avid Manchester City fan, that Liverpool is the best team in the world right now, and he doesn't see it. He disagreed with me, and that's cool. You can disagree with me all you want. I told him Manchester City were not going to go to the Champions League final. They were not going to get by Real Madrid. He looked at me like I was nuts. Manchester City did not go to the Champions League final. They did not get past Real Madrid. And you can call it hokey all you want. And as we get closer to the final, I'll do an episode recapping the semifinals, so you'll get more of my insight on that, more of my opinion on that. But I do believe, at least from the new year on, Liverpool have been the best team in world football. And it shows because they're still fighting on 4 different fronts right now, or on 3 different fronts. They've conquered one. They've won the League Cup. They've now won the FA Cup, as you're about to hear, if you don't know that by now. I don't believe anybody watching or listening to this right now doesn't know that already. But Liverpool, for me, in my humble opinion, I am not a Liverpool fan by any means, is the best team in world football right now. And I think that Klopp is the best manager. I think Klopp is doing it just a little bit better than Pep and than Tuchel. He makes fewer mistakes. He invents less. Klopp does something that I appreciate, and that is he puts his best 11 out there each and every time. If his best 11 are fit, his best 11 play. There's no reinventing. There's no moving people to different positions. There's no dropping an attack-minded player into midfield to get more possession or anything like that. Jurgen Klopp puts his best players on the field and lets them decide the outcome. So here is where Jurgen Klopp goes in this 4-3-3. And again, I think they're the best team. I think they're going to come up short in the league, even though I had said on Pitches and Pints that they were going to win the league. I did believe that until they dropped those points at Tottenham. But here are their 11 for this FA Cup final. Alisson Becker, of course, in goal. Very good goalkeeper. Trent Alexander-Arnold had himself a fantastic performance in this match. He gets the start at the right back. Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk, the center back pairing, very good pair of center backs, especially Virgil van Dijk. He is world class, no question about it. Andrew Robertson gets the start as the left back. In midfield, Jordan Henderson, the captain, anchors in the center. Thiago Alcantara to his left and Naby Keita to his right. In attack, in the trio of attack, Sadio Mane. For me, again, if I had a vote, this is my Ballon d'Or winner, is Sadio Mane this year. Okay, he is if Liverpool go on to win the Champions League, I have him ahead of Salah. Okay, I think he's more important to Liverpool than even Salah is. And Salah is very, very good, but I think Mane is even more an important link in the chain, if you will, a more important cog in the wheel, and things just run through him. And he's getting the start here as the center forward, at least as the way that FotMob shows it, with Mohamed Salah to his right, Luis Diaz to his left. Can we talk for a second about the emergence of this Luis Diaz, the Colombia international who came over from a club whose name I will not mention on this show at the transfer window, and he has fit into this Liverpool team like a glove. Okay, The first 15 minutes belonged to Liverpool in this one. Absolutely. They were all over Chelsea. I'm watching this with my 6-year-old, okay? And if you haven't figured it out by now, he is a Chelsea fan. I don't know how that happened. I had nothing to do with it. I'm certainly not a Chelsea fan. He is, okay? Jorginho's his man. He loves Christian Pulisic. He loves Edouard Mendy. Those are his three favorite players. And he loves this Chelsea team. So I'm watching with him, and he was so excited. I got home from work at about 10 o'clock in the morning, okay, because I work an overnight. I got home about 10 o'clock in the morning, and he's already up, and he's watching ESPN Plus. He's watching the screen that just says your event begins in 1 hour, whatever, 1 hour, 30 minutes, or begins at 11 a.m. He goes, Daddy, look, look, look. And he points to the TV, and it's like, yeah, you got some time. You got some time before this match starts. Let's watch the Bundesliga. We got a huge relegation battle in the so we did that. We switched over to the Bundesliga. But he had made a sign that he was gonna hold up while he watched on TV. He had a Chelsea sign. I don't get it. I don't know why it's Chelsea made. I think Jorginho has a lot to do with it. I think maybe he heard my podcast last summer during during the Euro and how I praised Jorginho. I don't know, but that's his team. So watch this with him, and he was it doesn't look so good. I mean, he's 6 years old and he's starting to get it already. The first 15, 20 minutes, Liverpool were down their throats. They were just fantastic. Okay, Liverpool creating chances. We do get an early injury for Liverpool, however. 33rd minutes, Mohamed Salah pulls up with a little bit of a knock, and, Jurgen Klopp smartly says, we got too much left to go this season. This, in the order of priorities, there's 1, 2, and 3. Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, A, B, and C. He quickly said, this is not where the priority's at. So he did not want to take any chances, did not want to risk losing Salah for a Premier League game this week. They got 2 Premier League games left, all right, all inside of about 5 days or so. They're going to play tomorrow. I'm recording this Monday night. Okay, Monday night, May the 16th. Liverpool play on Tuesday, the 17th, and then they play again at the weekend in decision day. So there's a lot of football to be played. Plus, they got the Champions League final the following Saturday on May the 28th. Klopp decides not to risk it, and Salah is off. Diogo Jota comes on, and I guess you could see Liverpool starting to slow down a little. But at halftime, when they went in to the halftime team talk, and on ESPN Plus, you get Craig Burley and Stevie Nicol talking, and Chelsea were very much pedestrian in the first half, and they talked about they don't see how Chelsea are gonna withstand this onslaught much longer. Well, we take it to the second half then, and Chelsea, come out a little bit better here in the second half to start the second half. I'm going to pull up the notes I have here. It just says an absorbing first half had seen both sides enjoy some spells of supremacy, and that is true. I thought Liverpool had many more spells of supremacy, though. But Liverpool brought a typically intense approach to Wembley, and Liverpool would have been feeling at halftime that they should have been ahead. Nevertheless, Chelsea did pose a few significant threats on the counter, and most of them falling to Christian Pulisic, and that is true. He got himself in really good positions in this match. His finishing wasn't quite there, but he's also facing Alisson Becker, one of the best goalkeepers in the world as well. You gotta remember that, and he's facing one of the best central defenders in the world in Virgil van Dijk. I think Christian did very, very well to put himself in very good positions. His teammates found him, and basically all of Chelsea's attacks were coming through him. He was really the important link-up player and the guy getting on the end of a lot of different things here for Chelsea. And it would continue through the second half, no question about it. Right off the bat, okay, we have one go off the bar in the 48th minute, a free kick from the right flank, and the in-swinging cross from Alonso actually beats everybody and nearly beats Alisson as it goes out of his reach, but it clinks off of the crossbar just past the reach of Alisson. and it would have been a spectacular goal. And I really thought this match needed a goal, especially from the neutral standpoint I was sitting at. I thought a goal would have opened it up even more, and you would have seen the other team really have to go for it. This one hit the bar and stayed out as Liverpool breathed a sigh of relief. Mane would drive Liverpool forward 2 minutes later before the ball breaks to Alexander-Arnold, and Alexander-Arnold, with his familiar inside right position, curls a deliciously inviting cross to the back post. Robertson arrives unmarked, but his fellow center back cannot connect cleanly enough, and the ball dribbles wide. And another close call 2 minutes later, Liverpool again regaining now the initiative. Diaz turns on the edge of the area, strikes a firm, low, hard shot, narrowly wide to the left post. Mendy was beaten on that one, but Chelsea did survive. Alexander-Arnold again getting a lot of good things going forward, getting a lot created, getting a lot of work in. 58th minute, Lukaku penalized for a foul on Konate deep in the Liverpool half, which breaks up Chelsea's attacking rhythm. But now we see momentum start to shift here, and we start to see Chelsea getting the best of the opportunities. And can somebody explain to me why Chelsea were playing in all yellow in this match? I mean, I felt like a little bit was lost from this. I'm such a traditionalist, and when it's the cup final, I want to see these teams in their traditional kits. I wanted to see Chelsea in their blue with white socks and Liverpool in all red. Chelsea come out in yellow kits. I guess it's cool. But again, Chelsea's starting to look better here, starting to get their opportunities. And we move on, and we get a substitution now in the 66th minute. N'Golo Kante comes on for Mateo Kovacic, and this is a good switch, I think, from Tuchel, because I think Kante played well when he came into this match. I think Kante really started to be a bit of a link-up player himself. He started to really get into the spaces, and put himself in positions to be in support of his teammates, and he was very instrumental in changing the point of attack. I think that he was a good addition to the team. In the 71st minute, it looked like it was caught by Mane's arm in a tussle for the ball. Chaballo went down to the turf, and the game came to a temporary halt, but he was soon to continue shortly thereafter. And the Senegalese striker went unpunished. 74th minute, and Klopp brings on James Milner for Naby Keita. And Reece James then covers across well to deny Mane a chance to seize the ball inside the area. But Milner then clatters the Chelsea wingback with a late challenge and goes down hurt as a result. After a clash of knees with Milner, James is fine after a few moments, and he does continue. Chelsea's first corner taken by Mount is grasped gracefully by Alisson under very little pressure in the box. That was in the 77th minute. Reece James goes into the referee's book in the 77th also for a clumsy late challenge, which saw him take down Thiago Alcantara. Thiago gets back to his feet, and the match continues. 83rd minute, and it's Mane feeding Diaz on the right side, and the Colombian fires an effort towards the near post, and it zips behind for a goal kick. He just misses it, and here Chelsea are now starting to struggle a little bit more, starting to see a little bit more fatigue run in. Liverpool will be denied again in the 84th minute. The left-footed volley at the back post by Diogo Jota strikes the woodwork following Milner's deep cross, and the ball is cleared away on the rebound. The glaring miss by the Portugal forward would have him thinking about that for a bit, and he may eventually rue such profligacy is the word that Bob used here. We see a substitution in the 85th minute, as that would be the end of Romelu Lukaku's day. Thomas Tuchel will send on Hakim Ziyech, the Moroccan international, replaces the Belgian. And it does say a mostly frustrating shift for Lukaku as he's substituted by Tuchel. On comes Ziyech. This saw Christian Pulisic move a little bit more forward in the attack. He really became that point man there in the area, and would result in him getting on the end of some more plays and really putting himself again in good positions. I really liked the effort and the work rate from Christian Pulisic in this match. I've seen the debate online about it. There seem to be two camps of U.S. fans. Christian Pulisic is awesome and should play all the time, and Tuchel's an idiot. And the other camp is Christian Pulisic is not really that good. He's overrated, blah, 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 blah. Neither one of those, I think, are accurate. I think that he's a good player on a good team, and it's a struggle day in, day out to play on teams that are this good. Listen, Chelsea are probably one of the best 5 teams in world football. Okay, we forget that sometimes because they happen to be in the same league as Liverpool and Manchester City. Okay, but you remove Liverpool and Manchester City, and they're as good as just about anybody else. All right, they were unlucky not to get through Real Madrid. They won the Champions League just a year ago. Okay, they're better than the Villarreals when you think of the teams that did advance. They're better than PSG. Okay, they're better than Barcelona right now, no doubt. Definitely better than Atletico right now. Chelsea are the next best. You can even make an argument that they're the 3rd best team in the world. The only thing that hurts that argument is the fact that they were eliminated by Real Madrid. But that tie could have gone either way. Everybody knows that. Another close call for Liverpool in the 90th. Again, it's Diaz with the inspiration, and it sees the winger slip inside his defender, tee up a shot from the left side of the box. Curling effort, just misses far post. Mendy was beaten again. That takes us to full time after Mendy takes a knock in the act of keeping Konate at bay, but he receives treatment and he is ready to go. We go into extra time, and Klopp subs on Joel Matip for Virgil van Dijk. Again, I think this is the man management. This is thinking about the matches that are coming in the future. Okay, very important matches coming for Virgil van Dijk, and he's coming on. He was injured not that long ago, and this is the manager managing his minutes. Mount puts on a shot in the 95th minute from outside the box, wide of the right post, but it does hit a Liverpool player on the way, and it gives a corner kick. And Jota has to chase back to deny Alonso a chance on that corner kick, again from the left touchline. And it looks as if a further Liverpool substitution is afoot, is the note here. 98th minute, Klopp again brings on Bobby Firmino in place of Luis Diaz. The Colombian had a fantastic matchup. I think he was very good in this match. He's been very good since he arrived at Anfield. I can't believe how quickly and how easily he fit into this team. He's replaced by the Brazilian. 99th minute, drifting inside from the left, and it's Mount again. Mason Mount now with another crack at goal from outside the box. But this one clears Allison's crossbar quite comfortably in the end. Chelsea continuing to build the momentum. 101st. Another corner kick routine doesn't quite come off, and they earn a free kick for a foul by Thiago on the left side of the pitch, some 30 yards from goal. Chelsea's free kick results in another corner. Liverpool managed to avoid conceding as this match is coming to its crescendo. And 2 minutes later, it's Liverpool on the counter. Rudiger forced to concede a corner shortly after that, or shortly before the halftime whistle. But Mendy is then able to get a glove on the cross and punches the ball clear to relative safety. Halftime and extra time comes. Christian Pulisic's day ends. And here's where I'm starting to... This is something about managers that gets to me. They don't think about penalty shootouts until they think about the penalty shootout. What I mean by that is they manage the whole match as if it's not a possibility. And he makes a substitution here where he's clearly not thinking about the penalty shootout. He's taking out Christian Pulisic and replacing him with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. No problem with that in theory. Here's the thing. Are you telling me Christian Pulisic couldn't go 15 more minutes if he's gone 105? Okay? Christian Pulisic is a skilled penalty taker. You're subbing on Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who we're going to find out in 14 minutes is not going to be a comfortable penalty taker. It makes me question this substitution, though. If Christian cannot continue, why does Ross Barkley come on with 1 minute to go? Why bring on a player for 14 minutes? I would have kept Christian Pulisic in. Yeah, and this is not because he's an American, but because this makes no sense. So Christian Pulisic is pulled in the 105th minute. Again, I think he had a fantastic performance in this match. He did everything but score a goal. Yes, I know that's his job. That's what counts in the end. Nobody barks that louder than I do. That at the end of the day, goals and assists are what matter in the result. But unless he absolutely could not continue, which the look on his face didn't tell me he could not continue, Chelsea have nothing left to play for. This was their final. This was the last match of their season as far as they are concerned. I would have kept Christian out there for the last 15 and had another penalty taker. Again, I don't know if this was influenced by penalties, but in the same 105th minute, Cesar Azpilicueta comes on for Trevor Chavala. Azpilicueta would take the captain's armband from Jorginho at this point, and he would come up later in the penalties. We will talk about Cesar Azpilicueta. Well, nothing really happens in the second extra time. There is a Liverpool substitution that may also factor in this result. Konstantinos Tsimikas comes on for Andrew Robertson. Andrew Robertson could not go any longer. 111th minute. Remember that name, Tsimikas. Then in the 120th, the switch I just told you about. Ross Barkley comes on for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who just came on 14 minutes earlier. This is overdoing it. This is overthinking it. This is Tuchel doing it again. And I like Thomas Tuchel. I think he does a great job for the most part. But he did this in the League Cup final where he just had to substitute the goalkeeper, Kepa, the backup goalkeeper in because he's a penalty specialist. He subs in a cold goalkeeper, doesn't make a single save, and then that cold goalkeeper misses the deciding penalty. I thought he was set up to fail by his manager on that one. And I think Ross Barkley here could have fallen to the same fate. He ends up not suffering the same fate because he ends up converting his penalty. But I don't understand why you send Ruben Loftus-Cheek out there for 14 minutes, 14 uninspired minutes. Both teams were dragging their bodies at this point. They were dead tired. And both teams, looking just exhausted. And as they should, it was an unusually warm day in London. Liverpool have played a lot of minutes, okay? And I'm wondering if they've got enough gas left to really push Manchester City to the last hurdle to the end of the season next weekend. We'll have to wait and see. So we go into penalties here. All right, Marcos Alonso steps up first. He converts 1-0 to Chelsea. James Milner steps up. He converts 1-1. And then the captain, Azpilicueta, who was just subbed on 15 minutes before this shootout, he fires his penalty right off the right-hand post. Allison punches the air in delight, points to the skies, still 1-1. I thought when Chelsea had won the flip to shoot first that they were going to win this. But after this one, it became a little less. I'd lost some of that confidence in them. Thiago Alcantara steps up. He scores 2-1 to Liverpool. Reece James is next. He scores with great confidence, 2-2. Firmino scores 3-2 Liverpool. Ross Barkley, who was subbed on, played very little, but he converted very nicely on this one. He put it right by Alisson to the right side of the goal. Alisson went the wrong way. 3-3. Alexander-Arnold steps up. He scores. It's 4-3. Fifth and final shot, and it is Jorginho. And if you have followed Jorginho this football season, this European season, if you go all the way back to the Euro 2020 final last July, where he missed his little hopping penalty against England, nearly cost Italy the title. He missed crucial penalties for Italy, cost them a spot at the World Cup. He missed for Chelsea a number of times this season. Tuchel still trusts him to go last, and I like that. And Jorginho steps up. Jorginho converts. It's 4-4. Final shot is Sadio Mane, and maybe this is the one place I question Klopp, and this is really being nitpicky. But I don't know that I put my guy. I don't know that I put my guy last, Sadio Mane last, when he's facing his own national team goalkeeper. How many times in training has Sadio Mane taken a penalty on Edouard Mendy when playing for Senegal? I think Edward Mendy had the advantage in this one, and I think he took the advantage. In the end, Mane goes to Mendy's left, and Mendy dives left, and he saves it. 4-4, we're going on. Are we going to get 11 shots again? As Hakim Ziyech steps up, he scores, no problem. And now Diogo Jota has to score. I thought he was going to miss it. I did. I thought Jota was going to miss this one, and I thought this is where Liverpool were going to lose it. But Jota, with no problem, he steps up and he beats Mendy with a finish high into the top right corner. There was nobody that was going to save that. Up steps Mason Mount, and you gotta like Mason Mount. You almost have to question why he's shooting so late. He's such a key player in this team, but I don't think the penalties are his thing. He comes up, he leaves it too close to the middle. He goes to his right, to Allison's left, but still within Allison's reach. Allison sticks his arm out, dives, saves it, and it comes down to the final shooter. That is Konstantinos Tsimikas, the Greek defender who came on late in extra time, and he takes a perfect penalty, beats Mendy, and Liverpool beat Chelsea again in the cup final, again on penalties, and they lift the cup. And my 6-year-old he went into tears as his Chelsea team lost. I honestly didn't realize he liked Chelsea that much. He was inconsolable for a little while. Really had a hard time with this one, and I felt for him because, well, I didn't have a dog in the fight, but I felt for him, and I remember being his age, and I remember crying when my teams lost, and Liverpool win the FA Cup, staying in the Premier League now as we move along, as time continues to just evaporate here on the Parking the Bus podcast. I'm going to bring up Saturday's matchups in the Premier League. I'll go down. There was Sunday's matchups, excuse me. Premier League had no other matches on Saturday, giving the entire spotlight to the FA Cup final. And now we'll look at the fixtures and the results from Sunday. So there was it started off early with Tottenham beating Burnley 1-0. Tottenham putting themselves in position to qualify for the UEFA Champions League. They sit fourth now, and they're looking good after having beaten their arch rival Arsenal last week at their home stadium, at the Tottenham Stadium. I don't know what corporation owns the naming rights off the top of my head. For me, it's the Tottenham Stadium. And they win 3-0 against Arsenal last Thursday, and then quick turnaround to Sunday, and Tottenham win again, beating Burnley, who are in a relegation battle, and big 6 points there in a short time for Tottenham Hotspur. Aston Villa won, Crystal Palace won, Jesse Marsh's Leeds United won, Brighton Hove and Albion won, Leeds United hanging by a thread, a little bit of hope. They're not completely in their own hands yet. Their future's not completely in their own hands. Their fate, I mean, we'll know in 24 hours from now if Leeds will go into Sunday's decision day with their fate in their own hands, or if they're going to need help. Watford beaten 5-1 at home by Leicester City. That's a little bit painful. The big result, though, this is massive because West Ham hosting Manchester City. Manchester City can all but lock up the title here, knowing that Liverpool were gonna not play on the weekend, knowing they had the cup final. They could have sent Liverpool into this match coming up on Tuesday with a 6-point deficit and making it almost impossible for them to catch City. City fall behind 2-0 in this one, believe it or not. The Hammers get ahead on the Citizens, this one at the London Stadium. 2 first-half goals from Gerard Bowen, and it had City on the ropes, but Jack Grealish would find the back of the net in the 45th, and then a Kufal own goal in the 69th, salvage a point for City. They could have basically locked up the title. Instead, they give Liverpool a fighting chance here. It will come down to the last day, I believe, in the Premier League. And a lot of pressure is going to be on Manchester City next week. Wolves hosting Norwich. This one goes 1-1 for Bruno Lage's side. And Everton also in a relegation battle, needing points badly at home against Brentford. They dropped this one to the London side. Brentford 3, Everton 2. Everton miss a golden opportunity to really put space between themselves and Burnley and Leeds. And then earlier today, we had Newcastle to Arsenal 0. Newcastle picks up another big win. They've been one of the best teams in the Premier League after the new year. And Arsenal basically watching their Champions League dreams collapse in front of them tomorrow. Or by the time you hear this today, it is Southampton hosting Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to come into this one. You can get my pick on BetterThan.Vegas on BTV. I will be posting that on Tuesday morning. You'll see a blog post there where I will predict that Liverpool are going to win this game, and Liverpool are going to take this league decision to the final day. Liverpool are tired. They're beat up. They just played 120 minutes, but I think they've got the quality. They got the fight. They got the character to eke out a result here and take this decision to the final day. And then a couple more matches in this round. On Thursday, Aston Villa will host Burnley. Chelsea host Leicester, and Everton host Palace. So once all of these matches take place, we will know where the league what the table will look like on Sunday when decision day comes down. And everybody plays at 11 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday, 4 o'clock local time in the UK. Here's the table right now, though, with some teams still with matches in hand. Man City lead the Premier League, 90 points. They're 4 better than Liverpool. Liverpool, of course, with that game in hand. Chelsea are third with 70. Tottenham holding on to fourth right now with 68. They are 2 points ahead of Arsenal. Man United are behind Arsenal with 58. They're sixth right now, looking at a Europa League spot, while West Ham have the Europa Conference spot right now. 7th place, 56 points. And actually, they have clinched it. They can move up, and they can pull ahead of United on the final day, but they won't drop out of Europe. Wolves are going to fall just short of Europe this year. That has me disappointed for my man Bruno Lage. That is my favorite manager in football. I think he's destined to do great things, but he's going to fall just a little short this season. But I think Wolves fans are going to be very happy with an 8th place finish. They got 51 points. Leicester are 9th with 48. Brighton 10th, also on 48. Brentford, what a debut season for them in the Premier League. From the promotion playoff to 11th place in the Premier League with 1 match to go. 46 points, same as Newcastle in 12th. 45 points for Crystal Palace. Villa are 14th with 44. Southampton 15th with 40. Now we get into the relegation zone. Now we got to see one of these 3 teams is going to join Watford and Norwich in the championship next season. Right now, Everton has the edge with 36 points. Leeds 17th with 35, but of course Everton has a match in hand, as does Burnley with 34. So if Everton and Burnley win their matches in hand, Jesse Marsch is going to be facing relegation on the final day of the season. He's going to need help. We'll have to wait and see. I'll hope to be back later in the week to update on this and give my thoughts heading into the weekend. Okay. Lastly, the leading scorers right now in the Premier League. Mohamed Salah leads with 22 goals, but Heung-min Son of Tottenham is right behind him with 21. And then Cristiano Ronaldo, what a season for CR7. I haven't had a chance to talk about that yet. On such a poor Manchester United team, he's got 18 goals at age 37. Don't tell me he's holding them back. If he was not there, Manchester United would be in the bottom half of the table, not in 6th. Harry Kane has 16, and Diogo Jota, Kevin De Bruyne, and Sadio Mane with 15. Okay. Also, this past weekend in England, we had the Women's FA Cup final, and it was Chelsea taking on Manchester City in that final. And it was Chelsea winning 3-2 after extra time. Chelsea's goals, they got 2 from Sam Kerr, 1 from Aaron Cuthbert. Sam Kerr scoring in the 99th. That was the winner. City got goals from Lauren Hemp and from Haley Rasso. Congratulations to Chelsea women on winning yet another competition. and they are on pace to win the women's Super League as well. Moving on, we have championship action. I'm just going to quickly recap the championship semifinals. All right, one of them is complete. One spot in the final has already been determined. In leg one, Luton Town and Huddersfield drew 1-1. In leg two earlier today, Huddersfield win 1-0 at home. Huddersfield are going to Wembley on May the 29th, and they will face either Sheffield United or Nottingham Forest. That will be decided on Tuesday. The first leg in Sheffield went to the visitors, went to Forest. Nottingham Forest winning 2-1, so they're going to take that slim lead into tomorrow's second leg. No away goals in the championship playoffs. All right, that wraps up England. We're going to move on then, and we're going to go to the Bundesliga because, again, I said that I was watching this Saturday while waiting for the FA Cup final to begin, and I love the Bundesliga. I love the races. I love the clubs. I love the passion and the culture around the sport there, and it did come down to the very last second. If you are not a pro-Rel supporter, you need to go back and watch this final day in the Bundesliga. Yes, Bayern Munich had already won the league. Yes, Borussia Dortmund already pretty much set in the Champions League, as was Bayern Leverkusen. There was a race for fourth between Leipzig and Union Berlin, but it was the other Berlin side, Hertha Berlin, one of the most historic clubs in the German football, a club from the capital. They were so close to staying up. They were ahead 1-0 on Borussia Dortmund. Let me run down the other results real quickly, and then I'll talk about these two matches because this is where the interest was. Arminia Bielefeld at home 1-1 to RB Leipzig, enough for Leipzig to take fourth place and get their spot in the Champions League next season. Augsburg 2, Greuther Fürth 1. Greuther Fürth obviously relegated to Bundesliga 2. Augsburg safe for another season. Leverkusen 2, Freiburg 1. Leverkusen clinched third place. They're going to the Champions League. Mönchengladbach 5, Offenheim 1, Mainz 2, Eintracht Frankfurt 2. Frankfurt, remember, playing in the Europa League final this Wednesday. Okay, I will be doing a review show after that final on Wednesday. Union Berlin doing their part, though, to push RB Leipzig. They were dreaming of Champions League football. They beat Bochum 3-2 in Berlin, but it's not quite enough. And then Wolfsburg, 2-2 with the champions Bayern, and it's the end of the road for Robert Lewandowski, we all believe, at Bayern Munich, but he leaves with the title. Congratulations to Bayern Munich once again, 10 in a row. Now, the two matches that had me on the edge of my seat and had anyone watching on the edge of their seats. Borussia Dortmund taking on Hertha Berlin, and Stuttgart taking on Cologne. Stuttgart got a great start. They got ahead. Kalisic scored in the 12th minute, and it became dependent on the result of the other match. They needed Hertha Berlin to lose to stay up. Hertha would go ahead also as Belfodil will convert a penalty in the 18th minute to put Hertha Berlin ahead. And right now, Hertha Berlin is staying up if these results hold. Stuttgart kind of losing a little bit of inspiration. And with that, Cologne would pull one back here. And Cologne pulls one back in the 59th minute. Remember, these two matches are going on simultaneously. And the Stuttgart fans at this point believe they are going down. Modeste scores for Cologne. But at the Signal Iduna Park in Dortmund, things take a turn at that point. They take a turn at the Signal Iduna Park in Dortmund, in front of 80,000. A penalty kick is awarded in the 68th minute after VAR is consulted and it's confirmed. Erling Haaland steps up. His final match with Borussia Dortmund, as he is going to join Manchester City next season. And I'm sure at some point I'll talk about what I think about his inclusion into Manchester City, and if this is finally going to be the piece that takes Manchester City past that mark, gets Manchester City to finally win the Champions League. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I'm sure I will talk about it in the coming months. Haaland steps up. He converts the penalty. It's 1-1. There's a little bit of hope now back in Stuttgart. They hear of it. They're starting to get a little more rowdy. The crowd is getting behind the team, and Stuttgart start to push a little bit. 84th minute now, and Yosufa Moikoko scores for Borussia Dortmund from a brilliant assist from Jude Bellingham. And Dortmund take the lead, and now you can see the look on the face of the Hertha Berlin supporters. It's out of their hands at this point if they don't turn it around. It's 1-1 in the other match. The Stuttgart crowd goes absolutely nuts when news arrives that Dortmund have gone ahead. They start pushing their team forward, and in the 90th +2 on a corner kick, the ball falls to Endo. And Wataru Endo will find the back of the net. He will head it home in the 90th +2. Stuttgart stay up. The Japanese international scores the decisive goal. Stuttgart stay up in the Bundesliga. Hertha Berlin, they're not down yet. They're going to a promotion relegation playoff against Bundesliga 2's third place team, which is Hamburg. So two historic clubs are going to play for the final spot in next season's Bundesliga. I'll keep you up to date on that as it happens. Okay, we're going to keep moving right along here as we are coming up on the hour mark. And I'm going to quickly recap the weekend's MLS scores. As you know, MLS is one of the leagues that I like to talk about in this show. And it is part of, as I said, part of my little tour coming up this summer. It is a tour to MLS matches. So without further ado, let's bring up the Major League Soccer results from this weekend. Okay, so we've got one. There we go. We have Toronto hosting Orlando City, and Orlando City gets the win at BMO Field. Colorado Rapids get a win at home over LAFC. Charlotte FC 0, Montreal 2. I'm going to still call them L'Impact. So L'Impact 2, Charlotte 0. That one in North Carolina. Yankee Stadium saw NYCFC Yankee Stadium, where I will be in about a little over a month and a half or so. NYCFC 2, Columbus Crew 0. Vancouver Whitecaps 3, San Jose Earthquakes 3, Philadelphia Union 1, New York Red Bulls 1, Chicago Fire 1, FC Cincinnati 2, Inter Miami CF 2, DC United 2, Houston Dynamo 2, Nashville SC 0, Real Salt Lake 2, Austin FC 1, Portland Timbers with the blowout of the weekend. Portland 7. Yes, 7. Sporting Kansas City 2. LA Galaxy 1. FC Dallas 3. Then Sunday, a match I watched while I was sitting in the barber's chair getting this sweet cut you guys can see on YouTube. It was Atlanta United 2. New England 2. And the CONCACAF Champions League winners, the champions of CONCACAF, Seattle Sounders, getting out of the bottom of the table here with a 3-1 win over Minnesota. I'll have more content involving MLS and very soon. All right, let's move to Serie A. Let me quickly recap the Serie A, okay, as this one is also going to come down to the final day, and so much still to play for. We are running out of time here, but I will recap this as well as I can. So, Saturday's matches in Serie A, Empoli 1, Salernitana 1. Salernitana so close now to performing the Great Escape. They were so close to being relegated just a few weeks ago, and now they're above the line by a point. They do hold their destiny in their hands, and it'll come down to the final day this coming weekend. LS Verona 0, Torino 1, Udinese 2, Spezia 3. At the Olimpico, Roma 1, Venezia 1. Not enough for Venezia. They are relegated. They are the first team officially relegated this season. Move to Sunday's matches. Bologna 1, Sassuolo 3, Napoli 3, Genoa 0. Genoa very close also to relegation here. The leaders, Milan at home against Atalanta. A must-win game, obviously, and they get the job done. The Rossoneri pull through 2-0 on another fantastic performance by Rafael Leão and Theo Hernandez as well. It is 2-0 to the Rossoneri. They're going to go into the final day in the lead in the pole position. Cagliari 1, Inter 3. Inter right there on their heels. Cagliari very, very close to relegation as well. 2 matches were played today. Sampdoria 4, Fiorentina 1, and Juventus blow a 2-0 halftime lead to draw 2-2 with Lazio. Okay, the table going into the final day in Serie A. Milan lead with 83 points. Inter second on 81. Napoli third, 76. Juventus are fourth on 70. Those 4 teams are all set. They are going to the Champions League. Now, in the Europa League spots, Lazio and Roma, the eternal rivals from the Eternal City, 5th and 6th, respectively. Lazio, 63 points, Roma, 60. Fiorentina right now holding down the last spot, the spot in the Europa Conference. They have 59 points, same as Atalanta, so that will come down to the final day as well. Hellas Verona has 52 in 9th place. Torino, 50. Sassuolo, 50 as well in 11th. Udinese, 12th and 40 with 44 points. Bologna with 43 and 13th. Empoli 14th and with 38 points. Sampdoria 15th with 36, as is Spezia. 17th right now belongs to, as I said, Salernitana. And I love hearing English language commentators trying to pronounce that name, Salernitana. They have 31 points. They are 2 clear of Cagliari, who right now are in 18th, just below the line. They have 29. Genoa have 28 and Venezia 26. Quickly, I will give you the fixture list for this coming week. Friday, Torino takes on Roma. Saturday, Genoa versus Bologna. Atalanta versus Empoli. Fiorentina versus Juventus. And Lazio versus Verona. And on Sunday, Spezia hosts Napoli. Inter versus Sampdoria. And Sassuolo hosting Milan. Those will both take place at 12 noon Eastern Time, 6 p.m. local time in Italy. And then Salernitana will play at 3 p.m. and they will host Udinese while Venezia hosts Cagliari. And then we will know who is going up, who is going down, who's going to Europe and whatnot. Okay, before I run out of time, let me get to the Mexican Liga MX playoffs. I got a little over 2 minutes here. They just concluded the quarterfinals yesterday. Now, as you know, Liga MX uses the playoff system. Okay. Long story short, here's your quarterfinalists. I should say your semifinalists. So Atlas advanced past Chivas. They will go to the semifinals. They'll play against Tigres. Tigres would eliminate Cruz Azul. America started the season so low in the table. It looked like it was going to be a season to throw away. They sacked Santiago Solari. Now they find themselves in the semifinal after eliminating Puebla, and America will take on the leaders, Pachuca. So Wednesday, it's a 10 p.m. Eastern time start. The problem with following Liga MX is how late these matches kick off. You've got Atlas hosting Tigres on Wednesday, and America hosting Pachuca on Thursday. And then this weekend, the second legs will be played. More to come in that competition in the coming days. Okay, that's going to do it for this episode 77. Thank you for hanging out with me here today. Like I said, I'm going to start putting out a lot more content. You're going to start to see stuff more regularly. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe wherever you're listening to the podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Castbox, wherever you're getting this, Audible, wherever you're listening to this. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you get these episodes as soon as they come out. It's going to be a fun summer. I can't wait to get it started. Like I said, I'll be on the road this summer. I can't wait to do shows from the road. And also coming up, like I said, we'll have a preview of these European finals. I've got Copa Libertadores content to get out. That competition is now in its group stage. Brasileirão is underway. I'll catch you up on that, and I will catch you up on Seattle Sounders winning the Champions League, the CONCACAF Champions League. That's all coming up very soon here on the Parking the Bus Parking the Bus podcast here on the PTB Media Network. I'm signing off for now. This is the Mr. Mike Agustinu saying see you next time here on the Parking the Bus podcast.